To give you an hour-by-hour forecast. There is a shocking reality about what is happening in your local grocery store. The food is not the same as it was when we were kids.
Yeah, nearly all of it is genetically modified, and you'd never know it from the label. I traveled to my family's farm in North Florida where we grow genetically modified crops to get to the bottom of this controversy. It is in the cereal you eat, the apple in your lunch, and the wine you drink. GMOs.
In fact, 80% of the stuff in our grocery stores is genetically modified or has some sort of genetically modified ingredients.
Local farmer Jason McCobb is part of a growing number of people who are raising the red flag on GMOs, genetically modified organisms that have had their DNA structure changed to make them resistant to disease or pests or drought. But there are no long-term studies that prove it's even safe for humans. This is genetically modified corn, and this is my family's farm in North Florida, where we have been growing genetically modified crops for almost 20 years.
Suzanne, I want to be very clear. We couldn't be in the farming business if we didn't do this.
My father, Alan Boyd, says GMOs are allowing family farms to grow crops more efficiently and cheaper, and that's passed along to you in the grocery store. Do you honestly believe that GMOs are safe?
Unequivocally, I believe that they are not dangerous to humans.
This 800 acres of corn, which will be fed to dairy cows producing your milk, is genetically modified to resist Roundup, meaning you could spray the crop with the herbicide and it will not kill the corn. My dad says he's using fewer chemicals because of GMOs.
If we didn't have that system where we could spray Roundup over the top, we'd be spraying a number of different kinds of chemicals to kill the other weeds.
The big argument, though, with GMO opponents is labeling. Right now, the U.S. does not require food companies to label GMOs in their products. It's voluntary. Congress is split on the issue. By the way, my dad is a former congressman. Why not just label products that have GMOs in them?
We feed the world, and we have acceptance of this kind of GMO foods because the consumer demand is there.
Well, you're not answering my question.
But you understand, I'm a recovering politician, so I have to beat around the bush a little bit here.
The major GMO seed companies like Monsanto, which are also the chemical companies, oppose labeling, and Dad says he understands why.
That way, people who are not willing to look at the science, who are opponents, can use the information they get out of that labeling in an unfair way to beat up on them in the public. I think we need to be very careful about how we do it, but certainly in the long run, I don't see any problem with transparency.
The flavors are going to be so much brighter.
McCobb says we need to become aware of what we're eating, read beyond the labels, ask questions. Dad agrees, but is convinced that we have the safest food system in the world.
The world changes. If we're going to continue to keep up and the country that feeds the world, we're going to have to change with it.
Now, really, the only way to avoid GMOs is to buy organic or shop at stores like Whole Foods, where they require companies putting food on their shelves to label GMOs. Now, to read a list of the foods that have been approved for genetic modification in the U.S., you can head to our website. We have a lot more information there. Just go to cbs12.com. All right, let's get over to Chris Farrell with a look at our forecast, and we are seeing some rain out there.
Well, boy, growing up on a farm, you saw a lot of weather.
I did see a lot of weather, and weather definitely impacted the farm.
That's right.
You know, being a farmer is tough business.
It is.
You go through droughts, you go through floods. You really got to plan for it. All right, well, plan